165 Days of Horsemanship, day 247. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired today. Yeah, I didn't make it up yesterday, which I was actually annoyed about because I was doing so well this week and I just had a really rubbish rota scheduled, and I didn't have really enough rest time between a late shift and a day shift. And I knew I was going to be really tired, and I was really tired. And so I decided I wasn't going to come, and I was going to go and get some sleep, and be refreshed today. And of course, like every other time, that didn't really happen because it's not really possible when you're doing back-to-back 12-hour shifts to actually get the right rest in between. And I should have really, I think, just remembered that and come anyway, because actually the short sessions, I do like them, and I did really regret not going. I felt really sad about it. I missed my horses. So it's kind of it was like a two-sided coin, because I think it was a good idea of me to make that decision, and it came from a good place, and then it kind of didn't work out, which is what it has been before. And actually I need to remember that and take that with me, that actually accepting that when I have a bad run like that with work schedule, that actually I'm just going to be tired and I should just do the best I can, but come anyway. I think as well, definitely the motivation to spend time with my fiance is really strong, because I'm leaving for America in 3 days time, which is so exciting. I'm so excited. I can't even it's going to be so amazing. I just can't believe I'm actually really going, and I'm going to spend a month with Elsa, and it's just going to be amazing. But yeah, I'm obviously also really sad that I'm going to miss my fiance for a month, and he's just really valuable. Just his presence is really just on a daily basis, just really valuable to me, and I'm really going to miss that. I think it's going to be really good to be on my own, because it will really give me that sense of introspection and self-reflection that I really need when I'm out there, where I can really just be with my own thoughts and help train my focus. So I think it's definitely for the best. But at the moment, with 3 days to go, I'm sort of anticipating some time apart. I'm feeling really clingy, and that definitely hasn't been helping either. So, life happens. It's interesting to see how those kinds of factors changed the horsemanship that I wanted to do, because actually, day 246, I played with dominant stuff, and had I have had another window the next day where I could have come with kind of good energy, I would have wanted to continue to play with that. But as it was, because I didn't come yesterday, I then missed them, and that really triggered me today to just want to really reconnect and have flow, and I really lost all that desire to do the dominant stuff. And I thought that was really interesting, because it's sort of after some repetition, I started to want more of my wants, and my needs changed to being more activities and movement, and them kind of doing more what I wanted to do. And then actually just one day of sort of disconnection from my end really changed how I wanted to approach the horses. So I thought it was really interesting. I definitely as well, particularly with Lawrence, because I've had him for so long, but I think with Mia as well, I'm really going to miss them. I'm really going to miss Lawrence. He's so just lovely and soft, and when he looks to me now, it's so open, and so just emotionally just present, and I'm really gonna miss him, and I really hope that the month apart, I think it'll be the longest I've ever not seen him. I can't remember another time in my life where I was away for a month and didn't see him. So I think I did 3 weeks once, but this will probably be the longest. So I'm really hoping that when I come back, that won't really take a toll on our relationship too much. Today I had a nice day with him. It was interesting, actually. It was kind of a flip between them, actually, because with Lawrence, I was spending a lot of time ending up in the conversation that he needed me to be in, which was about him and his kind of frenemy in the herd, who he spends actually quite a lot of time with. They spend quite a lot of time relatively close together, but I often see Lawrence move him quite dominantly, which was the case today. They were both on the hay bale, and every now and again Lawrence would pretty unexpectedly from my perspective, sort of relatively so, move him away from whatever side he was on, so Lawrence could then be there and this other horse would come around. And so it was kind of like, and I couldn't really get too close, because if I got too close, then I was going to be too close when that started, and then I would have to leave and it would all just get a little bit difficult. So I ended up kind of playing it like a sort of short to medium distance, basically being in flow and trying to move on before things kind of got challenging, and then like walk and then settle in a new place of flow when things were settled. And it was really interesting for two reasons. Firstly, because I felt like I was able at some points to think one move ahead. So there were a couple of times where I saw his head come up and the ears go back, and I knew that the next thing that was going to happen was that he was going to move that horse. So I started walking, and I didn't catch it every time, but just a couple times I did, and that was really like heartening to me. It was really like encouraging, because I feel like for so long people have, trainers have spoken about, oh yeah, I just know what's going to happen before what happens. And Elsa talks about predicting things and being able to understand what's going to happen. And like, I've always kind of thought like, God, I can't imagine when I'll be able to do that. Like, I don't know what's going on like ever. And actually to now feel like a few times I am able to identify is just really amazing, and just makes me feel really just happy and proud of myself, and also like I'm making progress, which is really motivating. So that was really nice. I think it definitely also taught me and was interesting, because I think in the past I would have attached a personal value to that session, and I would have been offended or upset by the fact that I was having to work at a distance that's more uncomfortable for me. It's more uncomfortable for me to work at these longer distances because I don't feel that I'm able to have the connection that I would like to have. I really only feel that when I'm close, and when I'm far away, I feel like it's harder for me to feel connected. And actually realizing that Lawrence probably today, that was where he had chosen for me, and that's where he wanted me to be, and realizing that actually it's not fair of me to assign a value to something that he might like because I don't like it, and to say like, oh well, this isn't where I should be, or this isn't where I want to be, so I need to change this. Actually getting comfortable being in those places and putting the onus on myself to be okay there rather than on him was really powerful kind of thought to have, and a really powerful understanding to come to. And I think that sort of feeds into a lot of other potential like situations in life with horses and with humans, where I think it's just about, like not feeling that everyone has to do everything the way that you like it. Maybe other people like it, or other horses like it, if hypothetically you're a little bit further away, and just because you don't like it there doesn't mean it's the wrong place to be or a bad place to be, or that they are wrong about how life is or the way that you should be with them. Like, that's actually up to them. Like, that's for that, he has the right to like that. He's allowed to like whatever he wants. He's allowed to have whatever he wants as his desires. And so to really realize that, and to say, okay, today this is where I need to be, and I'm not offended by this. I'm not gonna use my discomfort as an excuse to put a negative spin on his behavior, to say, oh well, today he doesn't like me, or oh, it's because I didn't come yesterday and he's upset with me, and to do all this like anthropomorphizing. It was really good to just really separate myself from that and say, no, today I need to be here because there's a lot going on in this hay bale situation. And actually, this is where he's comfortable. This is where I'm getting the focus changes when I'm at this distance. And that's okay. And I don't feel like personally attached to that. This is about him, not about me. And so that was really good. That felt really healthy and positive. With Mia, it was really interesting, actually. Had a really exciting moment. Hopefully it's sort of like not a fluke, but it's not something I've seen her do before. Basically, they were all resting. While she was resting, some of the other horses were eating some hay that's just been put out today. And as I approach, I see her look at me, and I'm kind of like at a medium distance, and one of the other horses comes close to me. And so I start moving immediately because I don't want to be caught out being in flow when she decides that she's going to start moving because this horse is too close to her, because I can already see that's going to happen. So I come up and I do my normal like nose touch to, nose to hand, and I walk past, and I can see he's kind of like coming back around again. So I do another one, nose touch, and I walk past. And then he ends in a position where he's like sort of nose to her nose. And so they reach out and sniff noses, and then I continue to walk backwards, like away from him, and she walks like nose to nose and then comes past him like nose to tail, the same way that I do for my nose to hand and walking past, the same way that Elsa teaches for this passive like, hello, not right now, thank you. And it was so good to see her do that instead of pushing him away dominantly, just to say, yeah, do you know what, I can move through your space, I feel comfortable doing that, I'm going to move away and I'm going to come and eat some grass, some hay. And that was so good to see. And it really felt as well like the fact that it had happened just after I had done that definitely felt to me like that wasn't a coincidence. I really hope that's the case. I stood around with her at the hay for a little bit. She started yawning and then I left because this other horse was kind of coming up behind her, and I did not want to get into a situation where I was then caught at the wrong moment after such a beautiful moment. So I left it really quickly with her. But it was pretty amazing. Like, I really, really hope that wasn't a fluke. I definitely have been spending a lot of time in that herd, interacting with those horses, and I definitely know that she's spent some time watching me interacting with those horses. And I would say that they are the sorts of horses where they could be, definitely they're persistent, and I think they could be like the horses that like other people might say, oh, they're so annoying, like they're all over me when I come in the field. Like if those aren't the horses you're trying to build a relationship with, I'm sure that behavior could be very irritating if you didn't know how to deal with it. And the fact that I've used like this passive process means that I don't have them like all over me. Like they'll come and they'll greet me now, but where before I used to do like 20 or 30 like nose to hand, whatever. Actually now, largely speaking, I do my nose to hand, I walk past and they go to their grazing and that's it, and that's fine. And it's like, it's chill, which is so good. And I think that hopefully that's something that she's watched and learned from, because I'm sure that they do the same to the other horses where they're like poking them all the time to see like if they can get a reaction or if they can get some attention. And yeah, so we will see. I've only got a couple days more obviously before I go, so I'm just gonna spend them as I have been recently, really just with the goal of trying to enjoy myself and have a good time. So yeah.